Library of Congress has several initiatives aimed to reinforce literacy, plus the other services libraries offer that people tend to forget about.
People are using public libraries and someone has said, as opportunity centers. They use the high-speed computers to fill out job applications, to interact with government.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the hosts and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. Over the weekend, we had our Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards. I know that someone had inquired about how we did The Truth with Sherwin Hughes with our single entry, which was best community impact with a radio show or whatever the nebulous category was. We got third place. Great. I don't do what I do to get awards from people that don't listen and don't know us and don't know what we do, but it's nice to know, I suppose, that the idea of Beyond the Mic did get some kind of recognition. Third place out of I don't know how many entries, but whatever. Tory Lowe got first place in that category with his community cleanup. So congratulations to Tory, who still is and remains the most decorated African-American talk radio host per the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. So wanted to bring that up. Dr. Ken won in previous years Radio Show of the Year, which is a massive, massive honor. Radio Show of the Year in large market radio, so it's very, very competitive. And when I was made aware of what because we got to submit segments, I don't do it. So when you have to submit for the WBA, it's like December or January. to be awarded that next May, right? So we would do a whole year of shows, and then in January, we would assemble different clips and different segments of our shows that fit into different category, whether it be, best breaking news, best hard-hitting news segment, best radio show, best morning show. It's a whole bunch of different categories. So we would do a year's worth of shows. Let's say in the year 2024, we would put together segments that we think are powerful enough to be competitive statewide, and then they get submitted. And I'm always fascinated what not just my colleagues, but other, radio folks around the state, like, what do they put together? Like, what is their subject matter? What segments are they sending off to be judged, to be contenders to win a Wisconsin Broadcasters Association award? And I was always just so perplexed, maybe is the word, by what Dr. Ken submitted. And shout out to Dr. Ken. But what he submitted to garner him a really, really high honor, the highest honor, radio show of the year. I think that might have been 2023, maybe. I got something. What did I get that year? I think I got second place for interviewing the damn vice president of the United States. They don't treat me right. Y'all treat me right. The WBAs ain't never treated your boy right, but I don't do what I do for them. I'm just saying. They don't treat your boy right. The segment that Dr. Ken submitted to garner himself radio show of the year was about the N-word. The N-word is either benign, not that big of a deal, it has less meaning now than it did, say, 100 years ago, or it is still one of the most poignant and powerful racially charged words in not just the English language, but in several languages. Because if somebody speaks French or Portuguese or Italian or Spanish, you can say the N-word and they're going to know exactly what you're talking about. They're going to know who you're talking about. I am unaware of any other word in diction, in lexicon, that is as charged as that word. So it is either benign and not that big of a deal, and it's used loosely, it's used casually. I've even heard it used as a term of endearment. It's either that or it is the worst word in the English language, and the word should be banned. It should not be used. No one should ever say it. I've said it before. A lot of you have too. About a month or so ago, we had a white guy say it. I didn't think he would say it. I've been doing radio a long time. I've challenged white people to say the N-word on the air, and they never do. But that guy that called in last month, he most certainly did. And he was like, I'll say it again if you want me to. I said, no, once is enough. And it sent shockwaves through a lot of us. I don't really use the word as much now as I did in the past. If I need to use the word to prove a point where no other word will suffice, yeah, I'll use it, but it's sparingly. I don't make it a habit, because the word really does sound ugly. But in doing that, you make the word, you make it rare. You make it scarce. And basic laws of supply and demand, if something is rare, if something is scarce, it becomes more valuable. We've tackled this topic, I can't tell you on how many different radio shows, because there's always some kind of controversy surrounding this word. I don't know of any other word that can drum up so much emotion and so much controversy, not just in black people, but in all people. Very controversial word. Evokes a lot of feelings. There are some African Americans that do not want the word used ever, especially if they are older. Well, I don't even want to say it's limited to an age group. There are probably some younger, middle-aged or younger African Americans that see the ugliness and the charged racial history of the N-word, and they want it evaporated completely and eliminated. Unfortunately, you can't do that with language. You can just have a word that you decide that you don't want to use, or you don't want to hear, or you will not buy or consume or listen to music where that word is thrown around so casually. That is a you thing, but you cannot mandate that someone else remove that word from the language. Now, what you can do is if somebody is using that word around you, and I've done this before. Somebody is using the word around me especially if you're a non-black person, and I'll say, hey, stop it. Don't use that around me. The number of times that I had to tell a white person to not, and I don't, you can't always get violent when you hear the word, and I think that's the response for a lot of black people, because I'm not trying to go to jail really for any reason. And if I hear a white person use the N-word, however they're using it, maybe they're using it to belittle somebody, or maybe they're using it in casual conversation, or even they're just doing a song lyric and they say the word, I'm going to let them know, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you saying that. And 9 times out of 10, there is a level of respect. But what I found with white people that think that they are cool with black people, they'll say, well, I got biracial kids, or my significant other, my husband, my wife is black. It's something I think we need to understand in these very complicated racial dynamics that exist in today's society. And I'm going to get into the complicated racial dynamics that exist in today's society, because the racial dynamics that exist in today's society is not something you can just overlook and simplify. You cannot. There's too much history. There's too much turmoil. There's too many fights for rights and protests and deaths and a crooked criminal justice system, and too much institutional and too much structural for someone to just dismiss the racial dynamics in our society. You're not allowed to do that. And because you do not understand something, and you do not understand the complicated dynamics in our society that is based solely on this caste system of race, you don't get to dismiss it. Just admit you don't understand it, and then let the grown-ups have those kinds of conversations, you see. There is no white person that is that cool with black people in the black community where you can use that word casually. You can't. You cannot. And I know that they don't like to hear that. But then there's a lot of white folks that they respect the fact that, you know what, I shouldn't be using that word. But that makes the word rare, and it makes it very, very scarce. And again, the basic laws of supply and demand, if something is rare and if something is scarce, it is valuable. So when Dr. Ken submitted his segment, which garnered him Radio Show of the Year, it was simply, why do we put so much power behind the N-word? It was very dismissive of the word and the power that it holds and the feelings that it can evoke. I don't care how you feel about the N-word and you're a black person. If a white person says it to you and they say it to your face, and they say it because they're angry, and they say it like they mean it with the hard ER ending, you feel it physically. There's no other word. Like, I love you doesn't hit physically like the N-word does. And I love you hits. You can feel something physically when someone says, hey, I love you. But that's subdued compared to the anger and the rage and the hurt and, quite honestly, the abject sadness that you will feel when someone uses the N-word with a hard ER ending. I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, I want to tell you the cash value as of right now of using the N-word is up to $696,000. This word that we give so much power to, we should just dismiss the power of this word, per my esteemed colleague, Dr. Ken Harris, who submitted a segment of his show where he was talking about the N-word, and we need to just let it go. The word doesn't mean anything anymore. Why do we give so much power to this word? You got to keep in mind, he won Radio Show of the Year by dismissing the N-word. But there is a woman named Shiloh Hendricks who, on video, is calling a 5-year-old black child the N-word and standing on it and defending her use of it and using it again and again and again, talking about a 5-year-old child. There is a Christian GoFundMe style website where she put out this little paragraph. She basically says, I called a black child what he was, and now people have put my social security number online. People are threatening me. So she goes to this, and this is the most ironic part. It's a Christian-themed crowdfunding website. And she has so far raised just under $700,000. $100,000. People are giving her money and they are defending her. They are giving her money. This woman is about to be rich because she used the N-word. Now, doesn't this just slightly, ladies and gentlemen, just slightly go counter and contrary to my esteemed colleague's segment that he submitted, which got him Radio Show of the Year, dismissing the power of the N-word? I'm going to tell you what, you want to give me $696,000 for saying the N-word? I'll say it. I just say it one time, though. $696,000 when a white woman says the N-word, and it's a Christian crowdfunding website. Why do Christians hate black people so much? I played some of yesterday's show back, which I rarely do. I rarely listen to myself because I already said the words. Why do I want to hear them again? Type thing. And I talked about, it was a little brief segment or two where we talked about the Klan, the KKK, which is an evangelical Christian organization. So when you hear about Christian nationalism, Marjorie Taylor Greene admitted when I did an interview with her a couple of years ago that she was a Christian nationalist. The Klan are Christian nationalists. Now, they're an extreme version of it, but the motto and the creed and the formula and the theme of the Klan and the modern Christian nationalists is exactly the same thing. But why do so many Christians hate black people? There's a Christian crowdfunding site that this is called Give, Send, Go. I never heard of it before. But if you're a Christian, you want to raise money for Christian causes and other Christian people, like, oh, the XYZ church burned down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, they would go to the Give, Send, Go website and they would crowdfund building a new church, you see. This woman who calls a black child the N-word went to and she knew what she was doing. She didn't go to GoFundMe, because GoFundMe probably would have taken down her fundraising request. She's going to raise $1 million. So I'm going to take a break, come back, share some details about the financial value of the word that some are trying to take out of the English language. And when you make something rare or you make it scarce by trying to remove a word from our diction and from our lexicon, it can make somebody $1 million when they say it. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
She says, hello, help me protect my family. And it's a picture of a blonde-haired white lady who's got a lot of tattoos. She's got a lot of tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. Some of you have a lot of tattoos. I thought about getting a tattoo once. It was in probably like 1993. And then I was like, nah. And now it's 2025 and I don't have any tattoos. So, but whatever. So that she's a blonde white lady and she's taking a mirror selfie and you can see her hand is tattooed and she got a sleeve, I think they call it. Her arm is tattooed. And that's the picture that she has on the Give, Send, Go crowdfunding website. A lot of you are familiar with GoFundMe and others, these crowdfunding websites where just a regular old normal person, you don't have to be connected to an agency or an organization. You can just say, hey, help me and my family. I need money. And I've given to people before. I'm sure a lot of you have as well, given money to people that fell on hard times or someone that gets caught up in some kind of trouble through no fault of their own, or someone who's dealing with a natural disaster. You give people a little couple few dollars, you see? So she goes, this woman, Shiloh Hendricks, and they're saying that's not even her real name. That's the name that she's using for the Give, Send, Go website. Shiloh Hendricks says, help me protect my family under this photograph of her. Ricky, what's your email address? I can't, you don't want me to say it on the air? Ain't nobody gonna email you.
Absolutely not.
At goodkarmabrands.com. All right. Goodkarmabrands.com. Okay, so I'm gonna send you the link. And if you can, Ricky, I don't know how this stuff works. If you can, because I want people to see the photograph of the lady. Hang on a second. All right, watch this. Watch. Everybody slow down. Here goes. Copy, paste. Hold on. Where's the little email at? All right. And paste. So see if you can put her picture up next to mine, Ricky. Or however it works. Post a link on the YouTube because I want people to see this lady. I'm going to read what she says as she's asking for money. It says, help me protect my family. Hello, my name is Shiloh, and I have been put into a very dire situation, so this is basically her pitch. Before I get into that, think about the money that you'll give to somebody else. What motivates you to give money to another human being? I can use maybe a campaign donation. Some of you have made campaign donations. A lot of you have not. But those of you that have, you really believe in that person, don't you? Maybe you contributed to an alderperson or a state senator candidate or a state assembly candidate. Maybe you contributed to the Milwaukee County executive. Maybe you contributed to the mayor. Maybe you contributed like a lot of us did to Kamala Harris. Maybe before that, a lot of you contributed to Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the first person that a lot of people contributed to because he made it easy. He made it so you could just send money with a text message, you see. But you send people money because you really want to help them. You believe in them. It's emotional. It's not always business. Now, sometimes it is. There are some people that own businesses, companies, and corporations where your political contributions get you some kind of favor, or maybe it gets policy or legislation that can help your business become more profitable. But I think for most small dollar citizen voters, when you give $5 or $10 to a candidate or to a campaign, like, you really believe in that person and you want them to have sufficient resources so that they can spread their message to as many voters as possible. The same with these crowdfunding websites, because you don't have to give. It's not mandatory. But if you really believe in someone, and here's what's crazy, with all this inflation going on and not knowing about the tariffs and how that's going to impact stuff, I do have a story that I want to get to later. I really got to get to this. Somebody please remind me to get to this story later. Curly Q, you're usually very good with that. Remind me to talk about this story that appeared in the Huffington Post where we are going to start to see bare store shelves when some of these tariffed goods stop arriving from China. Do not let me forget to bring that story up later. But we're tight with our money. Now, on the things that we love, things that define us, our hobbies, like when you go on vacation or something, then you're a little bit looser with your money. But even people that have money are kind of tight with their money. You know what I mean? Like they're real specific and strategic with where that money goes, unless you have your splurges, you see. Then you're a little bit looser with money. But as far as just giving money away, we don't really do that, especially our community. You really need to like be in a situation or be in dire need for us to even give you $7. Even when I see a homeless person, you know how you do that thing where you just pat your pockets like, oh man, excuse me, sir, could you please give me $1 for some French fries? And you do that thing where you pat your pockets. You're like, oh man, I just, you know, when you pat your pockets, pretending like, why do you pat your pockets? Like if you pat it, like you'll feel the money through the pat, or you just pull your pockets inside out like you got rabbit ears. Like, oh, I'm sorry, homeless person, I don't have any money. Look at my pockets, they look like rabbit ears. She says, my name is Shiloh, and I have been put into a very dire situation. Recently, I had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. She called him the N-word. Now we come to find out that the 5-year-old is an autistic 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old that's autistic didn't know that they shouldn't be going through the diaper bag. So it's basically a kid doing kid stuff. But at the same time, I could see why a parent would be upset while a 5-year-old that should be watched and should be supervised is rifling through the diaper bag of another child. Shiloh says, I called the kid out for what he was. Another man who we recently found out has had a history with law enforcement proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil. My social security number has been leaked. My address and phone number have been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be going back to school. Even where I exercise has been exposed. And this is what Shiloh Hendricks puts on the Give, Send, Go crowdfunding website, which again is a Christian themed crowdfunding website. As of, she's even made more money. So I pulled this story up at about 8:15. So an hour and 15 minutes ago, she was at $696,000. Let me hit enter. Everybody relax. Let me hit enter. She is now she just crossed $700,000. She has received 26,366 individual donations. So that probably is averaging $26, $27, $28 per person. Her story has been shared 5,037 times. And then there's another metric that they have called pray. She's received 8,043 prayers for calling a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word repeatedly. And she was caught on film, caught on camera rather, and those videos of her calling this 5-year-old child the N-word were posted to the internet, and she now has got $700,339. So much for the N-word not having any power or being a word that should totally be dismissed. This woman is going to get $1 million for saying the N-word. But let me also say this. The N-word does have financial power. Now, I don't have the data on this. And you guys know I like the data. I like the statistics. I like the numbers, because numbers can tell a story and paint a picture even more vivid than watercolor. I like using the numbers. They illustrate points that words oftentimes can't make. I'd be willing to bet that the genre of hip-hop, which is vast, hip-hop that uses racial profanity, including the N-word, makes more money, commands higher prices, sells more merch, gets more ticket sales, gets more sold out concerts than clean hip hop ever would. So there is financial value to the word. There are some record deals that probably have been given, and there are some A&Rs that have discovered, burgeoning hip hop artists because of their incredible and creative uses of the N-word, and they probably are millionaires too. So the word has value, but I never thought that on a Christian themed crowdfunding website that a blonde-haired tattooed white woman calling a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word would net her $700,000. Now, this also speaks to the very complicated dynamic of that racially charged word, because we have been telling white people not to say it. And now when they do say it, they're being rewarded by other white people that I'm assuming these are white. I don't know how many black people. There might be some Hispanics and some Asians that probably contributed too. Oh, they even list the names of the donors. White brother gave her $20. Anonymous giver gave her $10. Another anonymous giver gave her $125. Anonymous $5. Anonymous $10. And these are just in the last 5 minutes. Somebody that calls themselves MAGA gave her $5. Another anonymous person gave her $20. Guy named Pigman gave her $10. Just Getting Started is what this person titled themselves, and they gave her $50. Imagine that, white people rewarding another white person, and I'm assuming rewarding a white person for using the N-word publicly. Now, she's paying a price for it. That's not fun having your social security number leaked. That's not fun having, members of your family being threatened. But she is being rewarded handsomely for it. Take a break, come back and read some of your commentary on this very, very unusual subject where the N-word now has a cash value of $750,000. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
Sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Somebody asked, I scrolled past it though, if white rappers are allowed to use the N-word. Yes, I just recently saw this guy. I think I miss out on a lot of new music and maybe independent artists or artists that release their music on TikTok. I miss out on a lot of that because I'm not on TikTok. But there's he's big white boy with a big beard, big red beard, red, long, curly hair. He's a white boy from Texas. Don't know what his name is. His lyrics are actually catchy. The melodies are good. The beats are nice. And he uses the N-word profusely. It's shocking to hear. But no, he uses it, and he's not canceled. You know who else? So outside of rap, where a white person used the N-word, but he had to get very creative with it. So one of my favorite comedians, so obviously Dave is at the top, but Dave is in a league of his own. Dave is like not just a comedian, but he's like a social satirist, somewhat like a Chris Rock. Chris Rock is like intellectually a genius, and he can apply some of his genius to his stand-up, unless he's getting slapped by Will Smith. Quite honestly, I think that Chris Rock suffered because of that slap. It didn't pedestalize him. He didn't become a martyr. Like, his victimhood did not gain him additional success. It's just like he got punked by Will Smith, and Will Smith won an award that night. That's wild. He won what was that? The Oscars? Grammys? Oscars. Will Smith slapped the host and got an Oscar. Didn't really pay much of a penalty for it. Anyways, I'm digressing. Louis C.K., I think he is so funny. He has a bit where he talks about a barista making his coffee. And he's very descriptive in describing this barista, this bohemian person that talks in this kind of like hippie vernacular, making his cappuccino espresso, because Louis C.K. goes into a coffee shop in New York and orders this whatever coffee drink. And then after however many minutes long of all the clanking around and the steaming and the pouring of the milk and all of the things, Louis C.K. says, "Wow, that N-word just made the hell out of my coffee." And the way he says it is so funny. You totally forget that it's a white person saying it. And the reason why Louis C.K. was able to get away with it, because most of you have no idea that white man used the N-word in one of his stand-up comedy specials, because it wasn't controversial, because the way he did it, it was funny. There is a way in which that word that is so racially charged and so incredibly upsetting, and so I can visualize the word as a whole bunch of different things. As a term of endearment, as something that you say when you're angry, as something that you say to an inanimate object. It's got just like the F word. I can use the F word 34 different ways, and it can mean something in like 34 different situations. It's a versatile kind of word, but there's nothing worse than the visualization of a black person hearing the N-word right before they get hung from a tree. Like, if the word is also that too, and if people are going to use it, you can't lose sight of the fact that it was the last thing that a black person heard before their neck was snapped under the weight of their body because they were hung by a rope from a tree. The word is that too. And so the fact that this woman says this word to a child and is being rewarded for it, I think it shows the demand for some people to want to be able to use the word to where they're going to reward her financially. And maybe they're trying to ease her pain and her suffering because, you know, her privacy has been usurped. They said her social security number has been leaked. That's never a good thing. Trump is closing all these social security offices, so good luck to her trying to get a new social security number. Where she goes to work out, people know that. They've been harassing members of her family. She's got to pull her oldest child out of school. But maybe that's what you get for saying the word. But if you punish the word so greatly, especially African Americans, when we hear a white person say it out of context, or maybe even in context, we get really, really super angry. But that anger that we have is worth somebody else's money. After being recorded last week, apparently admitting that she had hurled a racist slur at a 5-year-old black child in a park, a white woman in Minnesota, of all places, that's where she's from, is being handsomely rewarded after conservatives turned her cause into a celebration. The woman is just the latest person to receive a groundswell of financial support via the crowdfunding platform Give, Send, Go after facing widespread backlash. A Give, Send, Go page, which identifies her as Shiloh Hendricks, says she's trying to raise $1 million to deal with what she calls great turmoil in her life following the incident. As of Monday afternoon, so that was yesterday, she had $670,000 as of, let me double check it. Let me hit refresh again. As of 9:41 and 23 seconds, she currently has $700,747 through the crowdfunding website Give, Send, Go, which is also a Christian-themed website. The woman is just the latest person to receive a groundswell of financial support via the MAGA-friendly crowdfunding platform Give, Send, Go after facing widespread backlash. A Give, Send, Go page, which identifies her as Shiloh Hendricks, says she's trying to raise $1 million to deal with what she calls great turmoil in her life following the incident. She currently has $700,000 in the account. According to an NBC News report, the incident in Rochester, Minnesota appears to revolve around the woman's claim that the 5-year-old, quote, took my son's stuff. A man recording the woman asks whether she thinks the child deserved being called the N-word, and she replies, quote, if that's what he's going to act like. The man, Sharmaik Omar, told NBC News that the 5-year-old has autism spectrum disorder and that his parents are from Somalia. On Monday, local police said they have forwarded the findings of their investigation to city attorneys for possible charges. Who would get charged, though? Does it say in the article? It does not. So if the 5-year-old, what, they're going to charge the 5-year-old with the autisms? Are they going to charge her? They can't charge her. It's not illegal to say the N-word, is it? No. Not in Minnesota. Not in a state where they killed George Floyd. Yesterday, local police said they have forwarded the findings of their investigation to city attorneys for possible charges. NBC News reported that attempts to reach the woman in the video and verify her name have been unsuccessful. Meanwhile, a combination of bigoted conservative influencers and some coverage in right-wing media have helped portray this woman as a sympathetic figure, and she's just one of several people to garner sympathy. Here's what I'm worried about. And I think some of this is backlash to the, Carmelo. He's got a name of another, is it Carmelo Anthony, the 18-year-old black guy that stabbed the white kid at a track meet? Because a bunch of people raised money for his defense fund, and I think the whites got really angry at that. We can't make, it's too late, I guess. Racial actions should not be financially invested in, because now what's going to happen is someone may harm physically an African-American person. Well, you know what? We saw this with George Zimmerman after he shot and killed Trayvon Martin. A crowdfunding website, but I think GoFundMe took it down. Didn't they take it down? That was 10 years ago already. 11 years ago, maybe. George Zimmerman raised $1 million for killing a black child. And that we're further down the point of no return when it comes to racial extremism now than we were when Trayvon Martin was killed. Barack Obama was president. Yeah, there were some kind of feelings of racial animus because Barack Obama was president. We also saw a number of very high-profile killings of African-American men, boys, children during the Obama administration as this subconscious, covert rejection of us having a black president. It seemed like the police were way more trigger happy. Mike Brown, Tamir Rice. Oh, there was more. I never can think of Eddie Gray in Baltimore. A lot of black men and boys were killed when Obama was president. But now racism has been so much more mainstream. I would take it personal, and I would be offended. I would be hurt that if somebody kills a black person and then I see them raising millions of dollars via these right-wing, conservative, and apparently Christian crowdfunding websites for their defense. It's very, very sad, the state of affairs that we are currently finding ourselves in. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey there, did you hear? There are still spots open for Girl Scout Summer Camp 2025.
Whether you're into water activities, arts and crafts, sports and games, exploring nature, or even horseback riding, there's a camp just for you.
Choose from GSY's day camps, overnight camps, community day camps, or Camp Hero.
Bring a friend and get ready for a summer full of adventure, friendship, and leadership.
Register today and let's make this the best summer ever, Girl Scout style.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
Nobody digging through.
A little kid just did, you dog.
That little kid, you call him a. Yeah. The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be the that.
I don't give a.
Huh.
He said it more than she did, didn't he? Now, he did it for the viral moment. I know he did, but he tried to get her to say it again, and she did. So here's what's ironic. I can't laugh. It's not funny, right? This is not funny. This is very bad. No, not funny. This is, terrible. White woman saying the N-word and getting $700,000. Oh, my God, it was terrible. From the Hindustan Times, an image is being shared on social media with the claim that it shows Shiloh Hendricks, a woman who was seen in a viral video, which you just heard audio from, hurling racial slurs at a child in Rochester Park, kissing a black man. Oh, my God. Not shocked. Not shocked. You guys know that racist people, And anybody can be racist, I think. It's not just, I don't use that technical definition of, race plus power. No, black people can be racist too. We can believe and exercise some of the power that we do have, because we did earn a little bit of power in this society now. We got political power. We've got some consumer power. We have some, academic power with some of our black educational institutions. No, we have some power now, and we can use that against other races. We cannot give a Latino or Hispanic person a job at a black-owned business. Absolutely, we can use some of our power that can harm someone economically. Now, we can't, change voting laws. We don't have that kind of power, but no, we do have enough power to meet at least a minimum threshold of being racist. But I want you guys to know this. A racist person will sleep with and have sexual contact with someone that they also are racist against. Don't let that shock you. It shouldn't shock you. Look at the institution of slavery for all that it was. A big part of the institution of slavery was breeding, not just other slaves reproducing with one another, but the slave master involving himself, and even in some cases falling in love with his slaves, but wouldn't let them be free, would not want them to have rights, would not want them to be able to read or write, would not want them to be recognized as more than 3/5 of a human being, but would sleep with them routinely. In fact, some of the tension that exists right now to this day, a quarter century into the 21st century, between white women and black women, is because, however stereotypical and erroneous, there are some black women that accuse white women of stealing all the good black men. Not true, totally false, unnecessary narrative. But then there's also some hatred between white women and black women, because a lot of these white women see their white husbands staring at them black women's bodies and them hips and them thighs and them big old chocolate breastises and the curvy buttocks. White women see that. What do white women do sometimes to get to BBLs? That's right. It's the hatred that exists. But someone who is racist can, will, and oftentimes do sleep with people that they're racist against. A racist white man, it depends on his tastes, of course. But you can find a racist white man that likes to get him a little taste of chocolate, right? You can have black freedom fighters and the Black Panthers like a little vanilla, a little cream in their coffee. I mean, it is what it is, An image is being shared on social media that claim it shows Shiloh Hendricks, a woman who was seen in a viral video hurling racial slurs at a child in Rochester Park, kissing a black man. The photo, which surfaced on social media, fueled rumors that Hendricks once dated a black man. While some questioned the authenticity of the picture, many slammed Hendricks's behavior as hypocritical. There's so many white people that will be involved physically with black people that use the N-word, and they might not even be racist, but don't be shocked by that. I want to see if I can find a picture. You got the same audio, Rick? Yeah, why not? Play it again while I look for the picture. Go ahead and play it.
Did you call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay.
He said,
all
okay.
Right, that's what you say.
That's what they say. He's making it worse. He was egging her on. He didn't have to do all that. He should have just, because I think when he probably heard her say it, and then he got his camera. He's like, oh, I better get to my camera. What did you say? Did you say the N-word? Except he said it more times than she did. Let me see if I can find her kissing black man. Let's see what we get. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not it. Well, I can't find it. What are your thoughts on this? Ladies and gentlemen, are you offended that this woman called this black child the N-word? Like, what's our sentiment on the word now? Is the word just much to do about nothing? Is it just, we just dismiss it And maybe we do like Dr. Ken said in the segment that he submitted that got him Radio Show of the Year. Why do we give this word so much power? Well, I can measure the financial power of the word. In fact, I want to hit refresh and see if she's gotten more money since we've been talking about it. And she's now at $701,000. So this woman is raising roughly $5,000 an hour. Her goal is set at $1 million. She is now at $701,000. When I first found this story, or when I got the link, she was at $696,000 at about 8:15. It is just shy of 10 o'clock, and she is now at $701,053. And you can actually see the lists of donors. Now, of course, they can make up their own names, or they can just call themselves anonymous. But there is certainly a running list of people, and you can sort the donations as well. I think somebody said in the YouTube chat, make note of the businesses that may have donated, and those businesses should be on the boycott list. And I certainly agree with that. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
What are some of the things that we need to really focus on to get our fair share of these opportunities, i.e. access to capital?
You know, it's very important to always think about building a strong business plan, understanding the financial parameters around what you're trying to accomplish, building great networks and great relationships so you can have partnerships and building out your dream. And then finding a good financial partner like Old National to help really orchestrate your vision of the organization. And then, as you know, DT, you wouldn't be where you're at because you're phenomenal, doing great work. And then you have to really have to go to work. If you have that dream, you have that vision, the business plan, the financial piece, then you have to really work at it and keep building.
Learn more about the Old National Bank Small Business Empowerment Loan by visiting oldnational.com/small business or contact a small business banker at Old National Bank.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk. Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dream
all the land my soul is from.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So last hour we were talking about Shiloh Hendricks, who called a 5-year-old black child the N-word. And she accused this 5-year-old child of rifling through her 18-month-old child's diaper bag at a park in Rochester, Minnesota. She then went to a Christian-themed crowdfunding website that is loved and oftentimes used by the MAGA faithful to tell her story. And she has collected donations that are now up to $701,000, and someone had remarked that, oh, had this not gone viral, she wouldn't have gotten a penny. Probably not, because we never would have heard about it. So it's more like, here's who you blame. You want to blame somebody? Blame the Somali man, and come to find out, dude had some like run-ins with the law as well that I'm sure he didn't want to get exposed. But had he not put it on the internet, this woman would not have. She's going to be a millionaire. Now, there's a price that she's going to pay, obviously, but you also should know that with a lot of money, there's always going to be a price to pay. I don't know why people think like, oh, if I get rich, all my problems are going to go away. No, you're going to have problems that you didn't know about before you got rich. Now, for her, it might be worth it to call the child the N-word, to have some of her personal information leaked onto the internet, but she can just cry or laugh all the way to the bank. But had that man not posted that video, you're right, we would not have known anything about this. And then the MAGA faithful would not have used this as a rallying cry to financially support a woman who called a black child the N-word. But also, I think it's an inflection point for us as black people. That's what they actually think of our children. Like, there's no sympathy and no humanity, because it's a 5-year-old child. You know, you guys give latitude to children. Children do stupid stuff all the time. And as a parent, she should know, like, oh, there's somebody else's child is just being nosy. Let me just go over there. Let me go find the parents, and we can get this matter all situated. She knows that she could have done that, but she didn't. She exposed how a lot of really frustrated white people feel about us. And there are other things in their lives, some of these white folks, that are troubling them, but they like to blame us because we're just an easy target to blame this kind of stuff on. But that's how they feel about us. And also, keep this in mind. That's why there's no motivation to spend money on educating black children. Could you imagine if you knew how many educators feel the exact same way Shiloh Hendricks does? We have to get out of our mind that because Caucasian people work with, work next to, and work around black people, that they like us, they love us, and they care about our struggle. Like, that's really hard. And of all the years I've been doing talk radio, I've found some like really incredible information out. I've just found out some incredible things. We think that good white people have a deep level of sympathy for us. They don't. They don't. A little bit, but they're not going to go too far. I mean, oh my gosh, that's so sad that black children are not doing well in school. Oh, well, let me go and order my Caribou coffee now. That's why the school district, one of the many reasons why the school district is performing the way that it is, because its black children are doing poorly. No white person is bending over backwards so that black children can be academically competitive with white kids, because some of these white educators that we send our kids to willingly feel the exact same way as Shiloh Hendricks. And I bet you if you put a microphone in their house, you put a little bug on their phone, you would hear some of these white folks that we are supposed to trust using the N-word more than a rapper, more than Tupac. Well, Tupac is dead. An alive rapper. I'll bet you they do. Every now and again, you'll see these little videos people post on Instagram talking about white people saying, oh, yeah, people use the N-word in my family all the time. Oh, yeah, they use it my whole life, I've heard. Oh, yeah, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my uncles, my aunts. I get mad when my children say it, but they say it too. There is deep-seated hatred for us. And so when you think about it, when did the hatred ever stop? When did they stop hating us? And it wasn't when Barack Obama was president. I think we also were disillusioned by that too. When we sometimes produce our best and our brightest, our most entertaining, our most articulate, our most intelligent, follow the rules, get married, stay married, have a beautiful, perfect family. And we believe sometimes that when we display that version of blackness, that they'll go easy on us, that they'll be less racist when they see versions of us that follow the rules, right? And that's why a lot of black folks get very angry when we are involved in like creating movies or making music that negatively portrays black people, because we think that further tarnishes our image in the eyes of white people. Here's something that I've learned. It does not matter how many good versions of ourselves we put forward. It does not matter how many of us graduate from Harvard, become lawyers, own businesses, own companies, become millionaires, billionaires, or trillionaires. It does not matter how many good, happy black families we see. It doesn't matter how many shows, how many sitcoms. It doesn't matter. They are still going to have a disdain for us. In fact, the better we do, the more racist they get. So what we produce that might be looked at as negative, like a bad image of black people, that doesn't make them hate us more. That just makes them feel a little bit more comfortable in the hatred that they have. But when they see black success, they hate that too, because they can't readily explain it. Why do you think that they have attacked DEI? Because they thought, wait a minute, we've given these blacks opportunities. We've allowed them to have equal funding in some regards. In fact, in some areas where black people have been kept out, we have given them equitable funding, and we've hired them. We've allowed them admissions into colleges and universities through affirmative action, and look at their success. Let's take away all that affirmative action. In fact, let's not only make affirmative action illegal, let's make it unconstitutional. Let's strip everything, even the U.S. military, of anything remotely related to DEI, because they hate our success more than our failure. And I'll stand on that. I've been seeing that my entire life. They don't ever want to take their feet off of our neck, because they think that if we become successful, however you define it, they got to wonder what white person didn't get that job, what white person didn't get that promotion. I've often said this too. Be careful who you're friends with at work. Exercise judicious levels of caution in socially fraternizing with your coworkers of a different race. Be careful. Some of y'all think because you sit in a cubicle next to them that is sweet. Guys show each other pictures of each other's kids. They'll invite you out to happy hour on a payday Friday. You think it's sweet. Think they actually like you. And they might, but this woman, black women, this white girl that you work with is cool. She even asks you about macaroni and cheese recipes, don't she? You even brought her a piece of sweet potato pie you had left over from Thanksgiving. Oh my God. You ever see a white person eat some real delicious sweet potato pie? They freak out. They have a little mini seizure. I've never had anything so delectable. They use the word like delectable. Think that white girl likes you? Here's a problem. And she might. Except her sister's out of work. Yeah, her sister, who's married, got 3 kids at home. Her sister, it's a white girl that you work with. Her sister just lost her job. And this white girl that you gave the sweet potato pie to, the white girl said it was delectable. And it probably was delectable. You know what I think it is? It's something about the nutmeg and the vanilla extract. It creates a magical flavor symbiosis in my mouth. Get a white girl a piece of sweet potato pie, just trying to endear yourself to her, trying to make her like you. Forget about the fact that your lips are bigger than hers, your hips are rounder, your skin is prettier, your hair is different. She might like you. She might even compliment you, say you're pretty for a black girl. But then her sister needs a job, and her sister happens to do exactly what you do. This white girl that you think is your friend will set you up and have you fired without thinking twice about it. Without thinking twice. And in that cubicle next to her, she would rather have her sister than you. You have to understand that. They cannot stand our success because they believe that our success impedes them. I talked about this extensively yesterday. White people didn't come to this country and rape and kill and steal and spread smallpox and other infectious diseases for everything to be fair, for them to be competitive. That's why you can't get mad at them when they want to get everything they possibly can, even if they got to kill for it. And they will kill for it. They'll steal for it. That is the history of this nation, whether you like it or not. This nation was created on murder, on pillaging. That's what it was created on. And if that created a nation in which they are the most successful, they own the most land, they control the labor, they control the capital, they even control how much goods cost when they come to the United States through tariffs. Do you think that they're going to let up now? They will not. So we have to stop being so overly concerned about like, oh, the hip hop music and all of this violence. That's not going to change their perception of us. They hate our success more. So how do you justify that logic? So we as black people, should we stop being successful because we know that white folks hate our success? And they do. Oh my, how did you get that car? Well, what do you do for a living? They're real passive aggressive with it. Like, you went to what school? You went to Brown, Cornell, you went to Dartmouth. Wow, that affirmative action is really working, huh? When they say it, they're saying it out of hatred. And I've seen it my entire life. Our success pains them more. And also it makes them think that they're less than. Because there's a lot of poor white people in America. In fact, the majority of single mothers in this country are white women. Hands down, no comparison. Those are the single mamas. They get more welfare. They get more benefits. In fact, the entire system of welfare benefits was created for white women. Do you honestly think that the federal government would allocate money to give to poor black people? Are you kidding me? White people would have to benefit first. Otherwise, these programs would never exist. They were created for poor white people. But if you qualify, you could be of any race and get these benefits, you see. It's how they actually feel about us. And it's heartbreaking. Now, it's not all white people, but it's a lot more than you think. And if you look at some of these disparities, just look at the disparities just in the healthcare field and in the medical field. You think this is all by accident? The healthcare field and the medical field and the pharmaceutical field is the most intensely studied, researched, developed. There's more science, statistics, and data in all of those combined fields than probably anything else other than like aeronautics and space travel. But our disparities when it comes to our health still exist because they build them in. Because you can't just go get a black person and string them up and just hang them because that's frowned upon. Well, it's currently frowned upon. I got a feeling in the next 10 years it probably won't be. So they kill us in other ways by depriving us of money, of resources, of health care, of access to health care. They deprive us of education because they know that that will kill us too. They'll even do covert things like have this 20% donut hole in Medicare, knowing that black people have less money, we make less money, we save less money, we have less investment income in retirement, and that 20% that we've got to pay out of pocket for our after retirement medical expenses kills a certain number of black people because we simply can't afford that additional 20%. They have a real disdain for us. That is why in the first 100 days of his presidency, he has done more to roll back our progress than any single human being has. 100 years worth of progress. Now I also come to find out that the progress that we made was just on paper. It wasn't real. Now it's as real as money is, because money is paper too, I suppose. But our progress, it was created with executive orders and legislation. An example was the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't even a law. It was an executive order. And I would argue that executive order, the Emancipation Proclamation, has a lot of weight. We created a holiday off of not a law, an executive order. An executive order is not a law, does not have the force of law, but we have a federal holiday called Juneteenth Day based off of an executive order. And so if an executive order created our freedom, think about what an executive order can do to curtail it. I'm going to let you chew on that and take a break. When I come back, I'd like to play a game. Would you guys like to play a game with good old Sherwin? I would like to do a little word association. In fact, you know what? if someone wants to volunteer for my little game, you can call me at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I just want to do a little word association. I'm going to say the name of something you've heard of before, something familiar, and I just want you to tell me what comes to mind. Or maybe I'll just use Ricky. Ricky, would you like to play a game?
Sure, Sherwin. Good morning, by the way.
Why you wait till we've already cussed each other out and you say good morning at 10:16?
Because you didn't say good morning to me on air.
All right. Zach, I'm waiting on Zach to call me the N-word. What are you doing? What's the problem? Thank you. You said Ricky has a question about my thumbs. This, I can't help it. It's comforting. Because these true jackets got thumb holes in them.
I want to blame my mom. I want to blame my dad. Look very emo. I'm like, does he have his thumb in his sleeve?
You know what? If you got a thumb hole, you're going to put your thumbs in the hole. It's very, I feel like.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like comforted. It's comforting.
Put my thumb in her butt.
You didn't say it on the air, did you? Okay, I got to take a break. I'd almost rather you say the N-word. Did you see there? This is why the whites hate us. This is it. I'm telling you, this is. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. You can go to 1017thetruth.com and listen on the internet. You also can listen on the radio. Some of you have a radio in the living room. Some of you don't. You can go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. You can search The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. You can search 1017 The Truth. Hit subscribe, and then you can hang out with all the cool people in the chat. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Victory Garden Initiative is an 1.5 acre urban farm that sits right in the middle of the Black community on Richards and Concordia. I don't know if you know that Harambe is a food desert. So within its borders, there are no major grocery stores. So people rely on things like dollar store, corner stores, liquor stores to buy food, which is all unhealthy. Everything we grow, and we grow everything, tomatoes to potatoes to carrots to corn to onions, and so on. And everything we grow is free to the community. It started in 2009. They wanted to build a sustainable food production system that was healthy and sustainable. And what that meant was giving people the resources to grow their own food and the skills to make sure that those attempts were successful.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
On Thursday,
Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun, day or night. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one, doctor, everything will be all right.
Rick, this is your fault. Wesley said he just turned the show on and said, I heard something about a thumb and a butt. That's disgusting. Don't put your thumb there. That's not where. What?
Give me a thumbs up.
No, I will not give you a thumb.
What about a thumbs down?
You guys, both of y'all need help. Zach is in there. Oh, Zach's doing a shocker. Oh, boy.
Bend your thumb. This
is a little much here.
What?
This is only people on YouTube. This to me is disgusting.
God.
This is gross to me. You guys are deviants. You need Dr. Phil.
We didn't say nothing about a pinky and two fingers.
Ain't nobody. Hold on, man. You ain't supposed to describe it. Look. You gotta see there. Look at this here. See there. There you go.
Pinky.
Let's talk to Marlon. Hi, Marlon. Would you like to play a game?
Sure.
Well, before we get to the game, do you have any comments or maybe questions on the day's topics, or are we getting right to the game?
I was going to say, I think it's very interesting because you're talking about the lady from Rochester who called a 5-year-old an N-word. I have realized, and maybe it's a little naivety of me, but I would say 95% of white people have some kind of racial tendency or thought process or something in their head that just isn't being exposed. I think that's why the political correct, the PC movement was all about. But I would say 95% of white people have that I am better than black people in them. And even the ones who we consider woke or that we consider that are allies, they have it in them as well. And, when we try to express ourselves or we try to stand up for ourselves, that you see it come out a lot. So that's all I want to say about that. But, yeah, let's get to this game. I'm down.
All right. I'd say more like 100% of white people harbor some kind of racial feelings. But black people do, too. We have.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And so if 100% of us feel some kind of way about whiteness, racism, institutional racism, structural racism, bigotry, prejudice, and discrimination, then 100% of white people probably also harbor negative feelings about us, too. Okay, so have you ever heard of Louis Vuitton?
Yes.
What comes to mind when you hear Louis Vuitton? Just whatever words come to mind.
The LV or Pearce.
Okay. What about
Logo
Prada?
or Pearce, yeah.
What about Prada? Ever heard of Prada?
Prada?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, what comes to mind?
I believe that's shoes, isn't it?
All right.
Shoes or purse or clothing. Fashion. That's what I'd say. Fashion.
Okay. What about Chanel?
Chanel, I think of cologne.
Okay. Versace?
Versace, that's clothing.
Okay. About Cartier. You ever heard of Cartier?
Cartier? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's glasses. I think that's what I think of.
How about this one? How about Balenciaga? You ever heard of Balenci?
Balenciaga, that's fashion or clothing as well.
Okay. All right. Have you ever heard of Brother Vielis? What comes to mind when you hear Brother Vielis?
I have no clue. Never even heard of it.
Fair enough.
Brother Villegas. Yeah, I don't even know what to even think about that one.
It's Viellis, Vellis. Okay, fair enough. What about if I say Telfar? Telfar. What comes to mind when you hear Telfar?
Telfar. Is that a black fashion company?
Ah, good. Okay. How about what comes to mind when you hear Denim Tears? What comes to mind?
Denim Tears, blue jeans.
Okay. Martine Rose, does that ring a bell at all? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I think he's a black fashion designer, I think.
Okay. A Cold Wall. Anything come to mind?
A Cold Wall.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Connor McKnight. Anything?
I think he's a black designer too. I heard him recently too.
I'm actually really impressed. So the first things that I listed, Dior, Hermes, Gucci, Burberry, Chanel, LV, Prada, Rolex, these are all white-owned brands associated with high fashion and luxury. And then I'll name Christopher John Rogers, Off-White, Brandon Blackwood, Fear of God, Lim, Bianca Sanders, Laquan Smith. These are all high fashion, prestigious black designers, and they do not have the same weight, because I was wondering, why doesn't black fashion have the same prestige? We are not prestigious, because those other brands, immediately things come to mind like the expense and the luxury and the status associated with something like Ferrari or Porsche or Rolex. We also have luxury brands as well, but for some reason we are not seen the same way. Thank you, Marlon, for playing my word association game.
No problem. Take care.
All right, you too. He actually knew way more black high fashion designers than I did. I've never heard of Wells Bonner. I never heard of Stella Jean or Mondo Cabral or Tove, Tove. Never heard of it. Or the Kai Collective Limited. But these are all high fashion, very prestigious and expensive, like way super stratospherically priced black designers. I've never heard of them. If we have an African-American owned whatever business, company, whatever it is, fashion designer. Because here's what I'm coming to find out about luxury. A lot of the luxury brands, stuff's made in China. Made in China by the same people that make discount stuff you find at the dollar store. A lot of times the stuff is made on the damn same assembly line by the same people. But it's more expensive, and we associate cost with luxury and prestige, okay? And we do, because the quality of some of these luxury brands, it does not justify the price, but you buy these things because of the brand, because of the logo. Some of it is very cheaply made, poor quality materials. Now, there's also other luxury brands that are very high quality, but a lot of this stuff is just cheap junk, and it just has a name or prestige associated with it. Tom Ford. I was looking at a Tom Ford wallet, $500 for a wallet. It's amazing that the wallet may actually be more expensive than the amount of cash you would ever put in it. Black designers and black creators can't just arbitrarily make their products more expensive, but white designers can, even if it's of low quality. A white designer can just price it higher, and we automatically will associate it with prestige. I saw the best example of this is there's a documentary on Grey Goose vodka that's on YouTube. It's not even long. It's maybe like 20 minutes. Do you know that Grey Goose isn't even really good vodka? And it's produced in France, and the French don't make vodka. They have no experience making vodka. But here's what they did with Grey Goose to give it the prestige. And then the dude, he came up with the idea of Grey Goose, and he was only going to put it in exclusive high-end hotels and resorts, and then like pay celebrities to talk about Grey Goose. It wasn't available everywhere, so it was scarce. But the people that drank it, the people that talked about it, so he basically used, I can't think of the guy's name, some French white dude. He used this exclusivity mindset. It was only available at certain really high-end establishments, like really expensive hotel bars in New York. It's really exclusive places. But the vodka is actually subpar. And he ended up selling it for $1 billion to Bacardi. Grey Goose is just a regular, average, once distilled vodka, but marketing and the way it was priced, it came out in, I think it was like the 90s maybe. It was 3 or 4 times the price of what was quote unquote good vodka at the time. At the time, good vodka was either Polish or it was Russian until Grey Goose came on the scene, this French vodka. But all they did was they marketed it to be extremely prestigious, and that was it. There was nothing special about it. And even to this day, Tito's is better vodka than Grey Goose. I'll stand on that. And Tito is just the name of a Jackson. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, talk to Al on the other side. I'm sure he has a lot of fantastic things to say. And you know what? I have a... you guys hear about the prostitution ring? I want to get Al's thoughts on this. Milwaukee prostitution crime ring. Man pleads no contest. So there are 5 white men involved in this prostitution ring right here in Milwaukee. 50-year-old David Ornstein. He's a Milwaukee firefighter. 76-year-old George Easton, a retired municipal judge, a white guy. 53-year-old Leroy Stewart. He's a funeral director in Oak Creek. 55-year-old Christopher Reeg, and 59-year-old William Green. The worst penalty that any of these individuals faced for being involved in this prostitution ring was a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct and a $900 fine. We'll talk about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Being a caregiver for a family member can be very rewarding. It can be very challenging, too. Besides taking a physical and emotional toll, it can also take a real financial toll, especially if you're paying for home safety upgrades, covering medical expenses, cutting back on hours at your job, or having to leave your job altogether. In some states and in certain situations, you may be eligible to get paid for the care you provide, but finding reliable information about caregiver compensation can be overwhelming and very time-consuming. The AARP Foundation Paid for Care Hub can help. It's a free online tool developed with support from United Healthcare, where you can search compensation programs, explore your options, and get answers to frequently asked questions. Find out today if it's possible to be compensated for the time, effort, and care you're providing. Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got
first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's a big week for the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast. So let's go! Yay! Have you ever wanted to become a Girl Scout, Rick? Sign up for their extended year membership today. Girls can join for just $98 and adults for only $42. Take advantage of their extended year membership by June 30th, and girls starting kindergarten and first grade in 2025 will receive 3 fun skill-building activity books for the whole family and more. So come explore the outdoors, meet forever friends, and make a difference in your community as a Girl Scout. It's a big week for the Girl Scouts of Southeast Wisconsin. To become a Girl Scout this year, join today at gswise.org. Join the Girl Scouts today. I know they have the cookies. I'm going to give you guys a little opinion of mine about Girl Scout cookies. They're not good. They're not. I don't like a crunchy cookie. A crunchy cookie to me is a cracker. I don't like a crunchy cookie. I don't like them. The caramel delights, those ones with the toasted coconut on it. I give those a 4 out of 10.
How are you going to do it?
What? This is not about the cookies. This is about the organization. They just use the cookies as the fundraiser. But I just personally don't like the cookies because they're not good.
You just did a live advertisement that you say they're not that good.
Was the live read for the cookies, Rick? No, it was joining the organization. The organization is a hell of a lot more than the cookies. I'm just saying I don't like the cookies because I don't like a crunchy cookie. To me, a cookie is not a good cookie unless the cookie is soft. I need a soft cookie. I want a cookie to be a flat cake. I don't want a crunchy cookie. You eat crunchy cookies?
I don't really eat cookies at all.
Well, then you shouldn't be involved in this conversation if you don't eat cookies. You can't have no crunchy cookie. I don't want no damn crunchy cookie. I don't want no crumbly cookie. I want a cookie to be just...
You want that cookie soft and moist. Okay, we get it.
Yes. You know what my favorite cookies used to be back in the day? Soft batch. They still make soft batch cookies.
What's that?
It's a cookie. You've never heard of soft batch cookies?
No. It's like a chain of cookies or something?
It's, you ever heard of like Fudge Stripes or Chips Ahoy? Ever heard of Chips Ahoy?
Yeah.
It's a brand of cookie. Soft Batch is a brand of cookie.
Oh, okay.
Zach, have you heard of Soft Batch cookies? You haven't either.
If I ain't heard of it, I know Zach ain't heard of it.
Wow. First of all, Zach is like 12 years younger than you.
I know. That's why I said if I ain't heard of nothing, I know he ain't heard of nothing.
I just don't like a crunchy cookie. Okay?
We get it. We get it.
Let's talk to Al. What kind of cookies you like?
I usually make peanut butter or oatmeal raisin.
Are they soft?
Oh, of course.
I believe you.
So, I mean, yeah, I love soft cookies. But what I wanted to share with you, to you racist, race play so-called Christians, you got to find something better. No matter how much you say the N-word, you're probably going to have one in your ovaries, or you're going to have one hidden at the back of your mouth. And trust me, every time you go to the dentist, they know. But that is very small of you to use the N-word. Also, Mr. Hughes, a lot of these racists, they're married to a black woman. And they know when that money stop, that hoochie-coochie stop, and that love stop. Because a lot of y'all are very small downstairs. And yes, you got to pay your way. And you know, if that money stop, no more hoochie coochie for you. And it's one thing y'all need to understand. You will never have the length. You will never have the girth. You will never have the strength. You will never have the power. because you're not the supreme race. There's only one race, which is the human race. But unfortunately, you have been denied a lot of things from your childhood. So you got to come harder because you're not coming hard enough. That's why y'all sitting there trying to go, oh, I call you an N-word. That's all you got? I thought you would come with something more profound. And don't get on that white supremacy stuff, because y'all going to let that stuff get you effed up. It's bad enough y'all already getting treated like tricks by your own kind, but you don't ever talk about that. And they're still laughing all the way tonight. And y'all still struggling. But what I want to say to you, Mr. Hughes, you should have got that award because you have one of the biggest shows. You always bring in that stuff. So if you're not winning the shows, it might be a little less seasoning in the recipe. So don't let that worry you. I just wanted to call and share that information, and I want all y'all to get out there and get some of that good old great vitamin D, something that them races did not get from birth. That's why they don't get it until they're about to get cold feet and be maggot food, because y'all lost the cost to be the boss. And I want y'all to have a great day. And for the people who got caught here in Milwaukee, that's on you. You should have been a little smarter. And stop being so messy. That's why you're always getting caught up. And that's why their wives don't ever say nothing, Mr. Hughes. Their wives know that their husband out there moving around. But, of course, they say, why should I say anything? He pay all the bills. I don't want to work. So let him go on and have that black woman. Let him go on and have that black man. As long as I don't have to punch a time clock, I lay right in bed and let him urinate and pee on me all night and make him that stale gravy. What is that they be making? That was that meatball. That was that meatballs and stroganoff and noodles. And y'all want to talk about us? And also, Mr. Hughes, that lady who called that man that little baby that.
Yeah.
She's sleeping with one. She's sleeping with one. Got one all in her nostrils, and you know her cervix is not in the right place. Because anything over 9 inches is gonna give detours, just like these potholes in the city streets. Got to go. Have a good one. Bye bye.
All right then. Thank you for telling us about oatmeal, raisin cookies, and peanut butter. Your dentist does know, actually. Oh, why do we do this to each other? Like, why? You know what I mean? I don't understand. Go down, Moses. Way down in Egypt land, tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Unfreeze my face! Unfreeze my face on YouTube now! Let's talk to... Hello, Lana Banana. How are you today? What kind of cookies do you like, Lana Banana? Do you like soft cookies?
Soft. I like soft cookies.
All right. That seems to be the consensus around here. Everybody likes a soft cookie.
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you, Sherwin?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I know. Well, I have a word for you. And I'll tell you what comes to my mind when I think of it. Do you remember that commercial years ago with that puppy monkey baby?
What?
I forgot what they were advertising.
Punky monkey baby?
Yeah, puppy monkey baby. Yeah, puppy monkey baby, puppy monkey baby. I forgot what they're advertising. But it's a pug dog face, a monkey tail, and I think white baby legs or something like that.
Zach said it's a Doritos commercial.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, well, okay, yeah, thanks, Zach. Okay, now, that, when I hear that, when I think of that, that reminds me of that woman that called the poor baby the N-word, the Somalian baby the N-word, because the white people call us what they are. They call us the N-word because N-words, the modern-day N-word to me, in my opinion, are those who always try to be the victim when they're not the victim, and they blame the victim so that they appear to be the victim. And that's what that white woman did. And when they call us monkeys, black people don't get upset, don't get nothing, because they're only calling us what they are. Because if you look at that heifer on the video, and she got the big old cowlicks like the monkey, and she got that big old wide fat forehead with them eyebrows hanging at the end of it, she got them ears, she got the big old cowlicks, and she got that spiderweb hair that's cutting up them cowlicks, and you can see the outline of them cowlicks through that thin spiderweb hair. You know what I'm saying? And she got the lips, the ears, and then the puffy monkey baby remind me of her too, because the monkey, the white people, they got the same color scalp as the monkey, and when they wet, they stink like dog. And when you do their scalp, when you part their scalp, it's the same color as the dog. So that puppy monkey baby, they got it right. They talking about that woman and white people who think that we are the N-word when they are. That's how I look at it, Sherwin. And then they get lice. Monkeys get lice. They got the thin lips. Monkey got thin lips. They got the flat butts. Monkey got flat butts. They get lice. White people get lice. Monkeys got straight fur. White people got that straight spiderweb hair. You know what I'm saying? So that's them. So black people, they only talk about themselves. Don't be fooled. Just some words of encouragement.
Okay. All right.
Am I still on here? Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right, then.
That's it.
All right, then.
But look at that puppy monkey baby. Look at it though, if you can.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
How did she think of that even?
Monkey baby.
Could you imagine if a white person called in and used all of those descriptive terms to describe a black person, how racist that would be? You can't.
We was just saying it like
that was really bad.
Kind of racist.
She gave it like some thought. She put her whole chest into it. You guys gotta don't be racist, because it's not cool. Okay? I'm gonna take a break. When I come back, I want you guys to get rid of all of your racism. Okay? I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to rid yourself of racism. And when we come back, we're all going to be in harmony. Do you understand? You have 3 minutes. So here, tell you what. This is what I want you to do, white people. I want you to yell the N-word at the top of your lungs for 3 straight minutes and get it out. Get it out, whites. Get it out. And then when we come back from the break, you would have cleansed yourself. I mean, I want you to scream it. As loud as, I don't care where you are. I don't care. You could be on a conference call. You could be on a Teams call. Scream it. And just be like, well, Sherwin said, I just got to get it out. And just get it out. And when we come back in 3 minutes, we'll all be cleansed of our racism. Okay?
But when they do it, make sure they do it on 35th and Burleigh.
Or 27th and Burleigh.
Or 3rd and Locust.
Sure.
23rd and Brown.
Just wherever they are. You know, just get it out of your system. And then we come back, everyone is going to be healed. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because you can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Yes, no interest for up to 72 months, and the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. A Pella design expert will listen to your vision and then present the different colors, sizes, and customizations needed to make that vision a reality. It can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities, but Pella's design team can help narrow those options down for you to create that dream upgrade. Hurry! Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at OmegaSecurityGuard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Pass the peas like you used to say. Pass the peas like you used to say. Pass the peas like you used to say. Pass the peas like you used to say.
On Friday, make sure you tune in. I'm going to be interviewing a guy by the name of John Jankowski. I'm not sure who he's going to bring with him, but he is the executive director of We Bear All, which is a Wisconsin social nudist group. Have you guys ever heard of the Naked Bike Ride? Once a year in a bunch of different cities, people get on bicycles naked to promote body positivity, which is a wonderful thing, and there's no judgment, and it's bare as you dare. You don't have to be fully butt naked. You can ride just topless, or maybe just with some little shorts on, or maybe, fellas, you want to wear just a Speedo. But John Jankowski, who is the executive director of the Wisconsin nudist advocacy group, We Bear All, he's going to be in studio with me on Friday. I'm hoping he doesn't get naked, but if he does, what am I going to do? I can't stop the man from. But he said, he and I had a brief conversation yesterday. He said, you know what, Sherwin, there's not very many African Americans that participate in our naked bike rides, and I want to make it more diverse. So I'm looking forward to that interview, and that's on Friday at 11 o'clock, talking to Mr. John Jankowski of the We Bear All Wisconsin Social Nudist Advocacy Society. Tomorrow, though, Wednesday, going to be talking to an old friend of mine, former Milwaukee County Supervisor and Alderman Joe Davis Sr. You guys remember Joe Davis. He was a mayoral candidate in 2016. He also was the alderman of the 2nd District, where Cavalier Johnson was alderman, and now Mark Chambers is alderman. Joe Davis was alderman in that seat for many, many years back in the 90s and early 2000s. He's going to be in studio with me tomorrow talking about some of the things that he has going on in the construction and trades industry. So tomorrow, former Alderman Joe Davis Sr.
And then on Friday, John Jankowski, who is the executive director of the Wisconsin social nudist advocacy group We Bear All. See, you only can get this kind of stuff on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Michael, thank you for holding. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, Sherwin. I'd just like to say that I love your show, and you guys do great work for the community. I think everybody should listen. I mean, that's part of a solution. But one thing I wanted to say is, so I run a small business, and I have my wife works with me. She's Caucasian, so and we're currently separated for certain reasons. Apparently, it just doesn't mix. But the thing I was trying to say is, when we go into the job, they automatically look at me and discriminate against me right off top. First thing they do is, I've had so many times where I've encountered Caucasian men, white men, basically, who look at me and say, hey, you think you can do the job? Or, question me constantly. I had one guy come out screaming, you guys are lazy.
What kind of work do you do, Michael?
We do landscaping and demolition work.
Oh.
So we were taking down a barn, and this is way out there, up north. And, the guy asked me if I think I can even handle the job. We went out there, man. We knocked that barn down in a day. And he had nothing else to say. It was so funny because when I was actually going to get paid, he goes and gives a check to my wife instead of me. It's just disrespectful things like that. Even I did one job in Fond du Lac, and this guy looks at me and says, well, can I pay you when the grass grows? I asked him, I said, do you pay True Green when the grass grows? No, you cannot pay me. And you know what happened? I drove past his house a few months later. He has the best house on the block. So all I'm saying is racism definitely exists. And I told my son, as far as the Donald Trump executive order, and he's biracial. I told him, I said, you black. I said, you need to be paying attention to this. And he's like, well, I got to go meet my friend. Your friend's white. He don't have to worry about this. You do. So at the end of the day, I agree with everything you say, Sherwin, and thank you for all the work you guys do. You guys are really the truth. So
thank you.
All right.
All
you
right.
guys take care of yourself, man.
You too, Michael. Separated from his white wife and the biracial son that's black that's going to go meet his white friend. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Eric Name joins Marcus and Chris for an off-season Bucks conversation. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/your moment and get started today.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number here is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. You can listen to us on the internet at 1017thetruth.com. You can go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, and then you can join the YouTube chat. On Friday, John Jankowski, who is of the We Bear All Wisconsin Nudist Society, is going to be here. AP, if you're listening, we should have them advertise on The Truth because they need more black people to participate in nudism because it's all about body positivity. You should be able to be proud of your body. And that's why they do the World Naked Bike Ride, because they want to showcase body positivity. I wonder, though, if you're fully naked on a bike, what do you do about the seat? What do you know what I mean? Like, how do you put a towel on the seat? Because that would be very uncomfortable. And then tomorrow, totally not related to Friday, and Mr. John Jankowski, former Alderman Joe Davis Sr. is going to be in studio talking about the construction trade stuff that he has going on and some opportunities for minorities in the construction trade. So tomorrow, Joe Davis Sr. in studio. And then on Friday, John Jankowski. I don't know if he's going to be naked. Should I tell him to bring some nudists with him? How would that work? So on YouTube, can you show nudity on YouTube? Yeah, you can. If it's educational. Because it's not sexual. Because what I've come to find out is that a lot of nudists are people you do not ever want to see naked. Do you know that we used to have a nude beach here in Milwaukee? It was north of the water treatment plant. The water thing on Lincoln Memorial Drive. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you're coming from UWM and you get on Lincoln Memorial Drive, where Lake Drive turns into Lincoln Memorial Drive, it's that big curve. There's a grove of trees. If you walk down a hill in that grove of trees right where Lake Drive turns into Lincoln Memorial Drive, you got to know what I'm talking about. It was called Bare Ass Beach. And we heard about it when we were in high school, and myself and two of my friends, we walked down this very, very steep hill. They make it difficult to get to. And I'm not kidding you, it was naked people everywhere. There was a naked volleyball game going on. And so we're hiding in the woods. We're like 16, 17 at the time. And we're looking, and then a white guy out of nowhere, butt naked, like a 70-year-old white dude. Looks like he'd been sitting in the sun since the Vietnam War. He said, "Come on out, guys. Come on. You don't have to be afraid. Come on." And we didn't get naked, though. But we saw a bunch of naked people. They've since shut that beach down. I think it's shut down. This was when we were in high school, so this is in the 90s. You guys remember Bare Ass Beach? Well, it used to exist. Hey, Bob, would you ever go to a nude beach?
No, Sherwin, you're mighty hard on white people today.
I'm not hard on whites today. I'm not racist. No one is racist. We got all of our racism out of our system. There's no racism anymore.
You're going to stop Eddie from calling in the way you talk today, man.
Eddie ain't called my show in 4 years.
Well, the other white guy. You pretty hard on white people today, boy. Ooh. maybe we need to concentrate on Lina singing or, something like that.
Concentrate on, concentrate on what?
Lena singing. She can sing. Lena Banana, or whatever her name is, she can sing.
Lana Banana?
And, yeah, she can sing, Something else. And then Lisa, I didn't know she got dialysis. Dialysis, one leg, and talking about working, that's a tough woman. She really is. Even though I don't care how she talks, she don't vote or whatever, that's a tough woman.
Bob, Felix has said that you love snow bunnies.
No, you hard on the white people today, Sherwin. I mean,
Bob, Bob, you ever gone skiing before? Down the snow bunny slopes? You never?
No, I haven't
never been skiing in the Alpine Valley of Switzerland? You never been on the snow bunny slopes? Never? Never one time? Not even in the 60s?
Sherwin, the only thing I'm saying, and then I get off the air, just lighten up a little bit on the white people today. My goodness. Ain't nobody messing
with them. Ain't nobody messing with the whites. The whites are fine. I'm fine. Everybody is fine. It's nothing they haven't heard before. They're fine.
100% of them is racist. Not necessarily. We got a lot of allies, We got two white people.
Where are they?
Died in Kenosha. We got two white people who died in Kenosha when that man died.
That ain't got nothing to do with us. That was white folks shooting other white people because they wanted to sow chaos amongst one another. I hate when we use the Jacob Blake situation like that was really about us. Sometimes white folks like to be in the streets with their guns and break the law. They didn't shoot nobody black, and I refuse to believe it was about Jacob Blake. They were taking advantage of civil unrest. They wanted to be out there and pretend to be cowboys and be out there in the damn streets with their guns and end up shooting each other. Don't include us in that mess. That was white on white crime. I'm sick of black folks saying, that was about us. White folks is shooting each other because they've always shot each other. Ain't got nothing to do with us. We were just the excuse for them to shoot one another. Don't include us in our struggle in that nonsense. That's foolish.
I will talk to you later, sir.
No, you ain't. You'll talk to me when I say.
I don't want to get you upset now. We want to have that white guy call in. The way he talking, we're not going to have him call in no more. Talk to you later,
you better get off this phone. Hang up. Well, I don't know what y'all think this is. I bet Bob will go to a nude beach. I bet he would. Bob will go to a nude beach and take off all his clothes and leave on his church socks. Bob he has some black socks on up to his knees. Well, I don't want to show my feet now. I show my wang dang doodle, but I don't show my toes. I don't want to be totally naked. You see Bob walking around a nude beach with just some socks on and a man purse. From the Huffington Post, because of President Donald Trump's trade war against the world, American consumers may start seeing shortages on their everyday household goods and accessories. In the past few weeks, Trump has imposed massive import taxes on many U.S. trading partners, including an astonishing 145% tariff on Chinese goods, only to abruptly change or suspend some of these tariffs. But Trump's chaos is already starting to freeze supply chains. U.S. businesses are currently canceling or postponing shipment orders from China. Just last week, the executives for major retailers Walmart, Home Depot, and Target reportedly told Trump in a meeting that shoppers are likely to see empty shelves and higher prices in the next few weeks if he doesn't roll back his tariff plans. Don't expect toilet paper shortages like what we experienced during the COVID-19 lockdowns, because many essential goods like food, beverages, and paper goods are more likely to be made here in America. They are more immune from these shortages, said Casey Armstrong, Chief Marketing Officer of ShipBob, a global fulfillment and supply chain platform. You're not going to run out of food or toilet paper, but don't be surprised if your $3 spray bottle or favorite pair of $5 socks vanishes from shelves or doubles in price. The Huffington Post talked to supply chain experts about which categories of common goods are most vulnerable to disappearing from store shelves. Fast fashion and clothes is number one. Direct-to-consumer brands like Shein and Temu used to rely on a de minimis shipment exemption to sell cheap goods directly to U.S. consumers. Under the de minimis tariff exemption, a U.S. shopper could buy $800 worth of goods per day directly from a foreign seller, free of tariffs and administrative fees, but no more. Trump signed an executive order to close that de minimis loophole, which will go into effect. Well, it's already gone into effect. It went into effect on May 2nd, ending the exemption. Ending the exemption is expected to disproportionately hurt lower income and minority consumers, according to a National Bureau of Economic Research paper that was published last year. As a result of the de minimis loophole ending, consumers may see both fewer quantities and fewer options from their favorite fast fashion brand, said Nathan Strang, director of ocean freight at Flexport, a company that brokers customs clearance and logistics for importers and exporters alike. You're going to start seeing less quantities, he said. So let me tell you about Shein. I bought a girl a dress on Shein. It was very nice. It was like $9. And it came to my house, and I put it in a different package. And I gave it to her. She's like, oh, my God, Sherwin, this dress is so beautiful. She's like, but I know that you got it from Shein, which was very embarrassing because I wanted her to think the dress was expensive. The dress was $9. Do a lot of you shop on the Shein? I've never bought anything from the Shein. Do they even make men's clothes? I've never bought anything from Temu either because it just seems really super cheap and Chinese. But those of you that frequent those websites, both the Shein and the Temu, good luck because the tariffs are now going to be imposed and fewer shipments are going to be arriving on our shores. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. Like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice, and it's Steinhaffel's Memorial Day mattress sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. And take advantage of Steinhaffel's special 60-month financing. You can get a Queen Tempur-Pedic mattress for only $48 per month, a Beauty Rest Black mattress for only $36 per month, and an Avocado mattress for only $26 per month. Steinhaffel's is Wisconsin's mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Driving that train, high on cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed.
JD says, my mama said ain't nothing white good for you. White sugar, white flour, white cocaine, and white women. That's not entirely true, is it? Well, white sugar is better for you than high fructose corn syrups. That's bad for you. I mean, white flour, you need that in baked goods of all sorts, especially in soft cookies. Cocaine and white women, I don't know anything about that. I don't know about that. I don't. See, the worst thing I've ever done, I smoked a cigarette once in 1992. That's about it. I tried tried alcoholic beverage before. I didn't like the way it made me feel. When I tried an alcoholic beverage, it made me want to just start dancing. Problem is, I was at the DMV and there was no music playing. So I'm just saying alcohol is not good for you. Also, stay away from the marijuana because it's not good for you. They call it dope because it makes you stupid. So don't smoke marijuana. Don't smoke cigarettes because nicotine is bad. Don't drink alcohol, including you, Vanessa. Stop drinking the Grey Goose. Vanessa's probably drinking some Grey Goose right now. What else? Don't do cocaine because it's pretty obvious. It'll make you skinny. We know that's terrible. What else? Yeah, just don't do any drugs. Just exercise and eat healthy. Make sure you get 30 grams of fiber. Watch your carbohydrates, and then everything will be fine. And also, oh yeah, by the way, do not be racist. Because we heard a lot of racist things today, and we don't want anyone to be racist because that's not nice and it's not fair. Everyone should be treated equally. We are all people. Unless you're an illegal. Then you don't get due process. But other than that, everyone should be treated fairly, assuming you have papers. I also wish you guys would vote in every election, please. That would mean a lot to me. I would take that as a personal favor if you all voted in every election because we're going to need all of your votes coming up. What other good life advice can I give you? Oh, somebody said it's Teacher Appreciation Day. Would you guys like to give a shout out to any of your teachers? I have a few teachers I'd like to give some shout outs to. Miss Pouts, if you're still alive, you were my 4th grade teacher. You were a very nice lady. She had very good posture. She sat up straight all the time. So shout out to Miss Pouts. Let's see who else was a good teacher that I had. Dr. Frances Rauscher, who was one of my professors when I was going to UW Oshkosh. She was great. She really encouraged my love of learning. Let's see, who else do we have? Mr. Peter Sherfinsky, God bless him. He passed me on my final exam, my final algebra exam when I was a senior, even though I pretty much failed that test. He was like, oh, Sherwin, I'm not going to deprive you from getting your diploma. I'm going to go ahead and give you a passing grade so you can go on and get on with your life. So shout out to Mr. Peter Sherfinsky. Mr. Jim Sadowski, marketing teacher at Brown Deer High School, really encouraged me to be curious about things. So shout out to Mr. Sadowski. And to the recently departed, my football coach, who was a teacher and he was a mentor. He was a lot to us, Mr. George Blanchard, who fairly recently passed away. And then another one of my football coaches, who was also my economics teacher, Mr. James Carpenter, who taught me about the stock market. And I use that information to this day. Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. He passed away a couple of years ago as well. You know you're getting old when the people that you remember so fondly, the people that had such a profound impact on your life, are dying. Very sad, but these people will live forever in my love for learning. So shout out to all of the great teachers that I had. I've had a lot more than that. I just can't remember all of them. Let's see. Miss Rowan was nice. She was my first grade teacher. She was a decent lady. My second grade teachers, I think they were racist. My third grade teacher, I'm not going to say his name, but I think he was a pervert. I think he was. I think stuff was different in the 80s. I'm just saying it was different. I think nope, I'm not going to say his name, but I think he liked the people that were younger than him. Fourth grade was Miss Pouts. Mr. Evans was my fifth grade teacher. I used to call him by his first name because I thought it was funny, and he would send me to the principal's office every single time. And then my sixth grade teacher, not going to name him either because I think that he also liked little girls. Seven, who did I have as my seventh? Oh, Mr. Golubsky. He was my seventh grade teacher. He was unusual. He just kind of sat there. He didn't really do a lot. My eighth grade teacher, I think it was my first gay teacher. He was very gay. Not going to say his name because I don't want to out him, but it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. It was fine. Being gay in the 80s was different though. Now, some of y'all are gay because you think it's cool. Back then, no one was cool gay. Now, some of y'all, women especially, like, oh, I'm a lesbian now. Woman, you've been married twice and got 5 kids now at the age of 47. Can we talk about that at some point in time, or will that be offensive? Women that have dealt with men their whole life and then right before they turn 50, like, oh, I'm gay. You're a grandmother. You had a bunch of kids. Now all of a sudden you don't like men anymore? It's insane to me. Let's talk to Tori. Tori, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Good morning. Well, how are you?
Good.
I just have been hearing little snippets this morning, but something about all this racist stuff, but it made me think of something I noticed at the grocery store about 20 years ago, and I just thought, what the hell? But I'm looking at cake mix boxes, right? Why is the Angel's Food cake mix the white one, and the Devil's Food is the chocolate brown one? Like, is it just me, or, like, what's going on there?
You know, you raise a very good point. Even in the desserts and the confections that we eat, they build the racism. Why is the angel got to be the white cake? You're right.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. Okay, just want to make sure I'm not off on that. And someone needs to send Betty Crocker, whoever makes those cake mixes, a little note.
Thank you, Tori. We'll get right on it. Was that really? She's right, though. Why is angel food cake white and the devil? Has someone brought that up before? I think, why is that? Which one do you like better? I guess it depends on my mood. The angel food cake, well, devil's food cake is just chocolate cake. right? But angel food, they're not even the same recipe. Because the angel food cake is made with like it's got a lot of eggs in it, like egg whites or something. It's very fluffy. Angel food cake is good for strawberry shortcakes. Man, let me tell you something right now. I love me some strawberry shortcakes. That dessert, that ranks up there very, very high. Here's what you got to do. You get you some fresh strawberries and you sprinkle, JD, I know your mother will not approve, but some white sugar on the strawberries, and you put them in the refrigerator. You wrap them up, put them in a Tupperware for about 24 hours, and then you put the sugar on the strawberries, and it makes this, like strawberry syrups. You know what I mean? Have you ever, you know what I'm talking about? If you slice up some strawberries and you put sugar on them, you put them in the refrigerator for a day, you get the syrupy, sweet strawberry syrups, you see. What is that right there, Zach? What is that? That's a strawberry shortcake? No, I know damn well it ain't. Let me have some of that. What is that? Like, I'm serious. Like, what is that in there? Well, you brought some kind of... It's a strawberry. Oh, all right. Well, that's interesting and ironic. So you put sugar on the strawberries. Put it in the refrigerator for about 24 hours, and it makes this syrupy syrup. And then you need real whipped cream. I guess you can use Ready Whip, I suppose, in a pinch. Not Cool Whip. Cool Whip that's not whipped cream. That's what they put on pumpkin pie. I don't do Cool Whip. You need real whipped cream or some Ready Whip, and then you get you a big piece of the racist angel food cake, a big piece, like a fat piece. It doesn't even fit on a plate. And then you pour some of that strawberry syrups. And you get it real wet. You pour it on there, and you add some strawberries, and then you get a whole bunch of that Ready Whip. You got to flood it with Ready Whip. Just have the Ready Whip, just pillows and pillows of Ready Whip, and then you rub it all over your body. It's delicious. Hey, Rick, should we do the Gruber thing now? Enter somebody to win $5,000.
One call, that's all.
Truth Nation, now is your chance to be our one call, that's all. Gruber $5,000 giveaway entry for the day. We'll take caller number 7 at 833-212-1017. Call number 7 at 833-212-1017 will be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of the Gruber Law Offices. Again, call number 7 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them online at gruber-law.com for official $5,000 contest rules. Visit 1017thetruth.com. We're taking call number 7. You'll be entered to win $5,000. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
You know, in life, our journey is not meant to be walked alone. As much as self-reliance and independence are celebrated, we need an inner circle, a group of trusted friends who uplift, challenge, and remind us of our purpose. Your inner circle is more than just companionship. It's your compass. These are the people who see your potential when self-doubt clouds your vision, who tell you the truth even when it's uncomfortable, and who stand beside you when the weight of the world feels unbearable. You know, the value of an inner circle is not just in the emotional support, but in accountability. They hold us to our highest standards, ensuring we don't settle for mediocrity. It's through this circle that we refine our thoughts, grow in character and courage to face life's battles. Today is no exception. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, energize you, and believe in your dreams as much as you do. They will then shape your growth, strengthen your resilience, and celebrate your victories. You know, James Baldwin once said, "The place in which I will fit will not exist until I make it." Your inner circle is part of that place, a foundation for your growth, your success, and most importantly, belonging.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance beneath the cover of October skies. You know the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. You know I'm trying to please to the call.
I'm trying to understand here, guys. When you guys are talking amongst yourselves via YouTube, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. First of all, Mile the Elephant, where did you get that name from? Why would you call yourself that? What does that mean? Is there any significance? Mile the Elephant says, y'all need to start sharing your drinks and meal recipes. I need to diversify my stomach contents. Hey, man, go to a damn cookbook. You're clearly on the internet at the same time you're watching the show on YouTube. Go look on the internet for stuff. Trying to have a conversation about the topics of the day so we all can engage and we all can learn. Unbelievable. JD the Poet, that book is among one of my favorite. But why are you talking about books? What book? Oh, Malcolm X. Malcolm X was taught about black and white. He explains it in his autobiography. Well, I think the problem is still too much to this day, the obstacles that a black person faces are unseen by white people. So some white people struggle too. And I don't want, people to think like, oh, white people are all rich and they own a bunch of land. No, they don't. There's a bunch of really super poor white people. Quite honestly, I'd rather be black and poor in a city than white and poor in a rural area, because that life is woo. That, at least in cities, there's anti-poverty programs. There's opportunities. There's agencies. There's nonprofits designed to help you. Who is this calling? Hello?
Hi, am I calling number 7?
No, not even close.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
What?
You're not
okay.
Close. All right, then. Thanks.
Down to this.
All right, okay. All right, bye. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hello.
Hi, yes. Am I calling number 7?
No. Probably like, by now you're calling number like 40.
Darn it! Okay, thank you.
You ain't
okay, thank you.
You don't gotta scream like that. Now just try again tomorrow on Kyle's show. It'll be okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Why everybody so damn giggly? What's so funny? What, I'm a clown? I make you laugh? What's so funny about me? We had that mess going on yesterday. Everybody was giggly. What did I say that's funny? What y'all laughing at? Trying to have a very serious conversation about that. Here's another one. Hello?
Am I calling number 7?
No, not even close. No.
What number am I?
It's like 58?
Wait, so what? You just said this about 5-7 minutes ago.
It does not take long to get 7 callers. It doesn't take, you got to be fast now. You got to be quick. Where do you listen? Do you listen on the internet or do you listen on the radio?
This is Christina, Candy Classic Girl. I listen on the radio. I listen on YouTube, all through my house.
It's very nice to be talking to you. You don't call very often, do you?
I do not.
Well, you're not calling number 7. You're not even close. The previous 2 people that called, they weren't even calling number 7. So how did you think you could call after them and magically be called number 7?
Because I was thinking maybe about 2 people called before me, and then I should be right on time.
No, you're no. Try another time. I need you to take control of the YouTube chat. Some of these people in the YouTube chat are going a little bit off base. I need you to keep them in line. I need you to be the moderator. We need to be discussing in the YouTube chat what I'm discussing in the big screen next to the YouTube chat. Don't let these people talk about recipes and cocaine and sex with white women.
I don't know. I think you probably started that with the thumb action this morning.
First of all, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you know.
I don't know anything about any thumb action. Can I go back to work now, classy girl? May I go back to work, please?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, you too then. I like when they call me sir. I like that. You guys remember when George Floyd was killed? I remember. It's terrible. A lot of people protested. Some of you protested a lot. There was Frank Nitti was out there. Did Tory walk to Washington, D.C., didn't he? Yes, he did. That was also a part of and in line with the George Floyd protests. A bunch of them walked to Washington, D.C. They got shot at. I think in Indiana, people shot at them. They went through a lot of pairs of shoes, apparently. Yeah. Long walk, 750 miles. I guess I probably could ask Tory, do you think that they really walked the whole way? They didn't. They drove some of it. So how many miles do you think that they actually walked? Like 15, 20 miles? Get in the car for a couple hours, walk for a little bit. Oh my God, you think 400 or 500 miles? Oh, that's too much for me. I don't even want to drive 400 or 500 miles. Hell, I fly to Minneapolis, which is 350 miles away, because that's still, I don't want to be in the car that long, just because, get bored in the car. So there was a lot of protests after the murder of George Floyd, because it was horrible. It was a very terrible thing to see. And with all of those protests, which was the democracy in this country and in other countries rising up during a pandemic, no less, and I think that's what makes those protests so much more profound, because it was dangerous to go outside because the COVID was everywhere. Can we admit that COVID was made in a lab, or are we not ready to have that conversation yet? No? Okay. We'll wait a couple months, I guess. Well, what came of the George Floyd protests? Millions of people on 6 continents were protesting, even in Africa. We don't even know who George Floyd is, but we are going to a protest. The Africans, they jump a lot. They jump. They're very jumpy people. So they protested in Europe, probably in Spain and England, all over the place. The world was present in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd. What came of it? Was there any tangible change when you have millions of people protesting, not just here in America, but all across the globe? What happened? What did we get? How was the world different? So I did a little diving to see, when millions of people across the world are protesting, they wanted to see justice or due process or Black Lives Matters. They wanted to see something. We had to change. Got a list of policy reforms that we have received, I suppose, that resulted in the murder of George Floyd. And they are surprisingly weak, considering the risk that people took in protesting. And there was some violence. Whenever you have a very emotionally charged issue, it's amazing how an act of violence which is what murdered George Floyd, then can create other acts of violence. Do you guys understand how that works? That violence can create other violence. So if you do not want to see violence, don't cause any. And then that became the story. Oh, why are you burning down your neighborhoods? No one set fire to their own house. That's the part that they don't get. White folks think that, not all, but some, enough to influence our image that if we're not working, it's because we're lazy. Or if we're not successful, we're not applying ourselves. They don't think for a second that the color of our skin can have an impact. If a white person does not want to hire us, they're not going to. They don't have to. They're not forced to. But also I can say a black business is not going to hire a white person either. So just like a black-owned business can say, you know what, I want only black employees here, a white-owned business can do the exact same thing. Here's the problem. White people own a lot more economic opportunities, and they can deny a lot more of us than we can deny white people. Plus, I don't know if white folks would feel comfortable working for black people. If there are any white people that are currently or formerly work for a black boss, God, I'd love to hear from you. I'll be objective if you want to call in and tell your story. But I think that white folks look at other white people that don't apply themselves and are lazy and are poor. And they're lazy. They don't want to work. But a black person can lose an economic opportunity and can be poor because a white person may not want to give them a job. They overlook that part. Because I don't know if they are equipped to see the impact of race, even though they know that race has an impact. They know what schools they want to send their kids to based on the race of the student body. They know what neighborhood they want to invest in, start their business in, or buy their house in. They're very cognizant of race, but for some reason, they can't apply their cognition to race when it comes to African Americans that might be falling between the cracks. Like they're invisible to seeing those things, or those things are invisible to them. The George Floyd protests in 2020 spurred a wave of policy responses at local, state, and federal levels in the United States, though their scope and effectiveness varied widely. Key outcomes include police reform, local and state action. Cities like Minneapolis, where Floyd was killed, pledged to restructure or defund parts of their police departments. They didn't end up defunding anything. It was a proposal, and then it got all political, and then they said, oh, the left wants to defund the police. They just want more crime. And Minneapolis didn't end up defunding a damn thing. Chokeholds were banned, and neck restraints were banned in only 2 states. All of that protesting, only California and New York banned chokeholds and neck restraints. Body cameras were required in only 2 states, Colorado and New Jersey. So this was a direct result of the George Floyd protests. So we have 4 states out of 50 that did something meaningful. California and New York banned chokeholds and neck restraints, and body cameras were now the requirement in Colorado and New Jersey. Mandate public databases of police misconduct. 5 years later, that does not exist. There is no database that chronicles police misconduct. That was something that people were asking for 5 years ago. 5 years later, and another Trump term, we still have not gotten that. Increased transparency and use of force incidents, and of course, there was no federal mandate to do that either. Federal efforts, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act was passed by only the House of Representatives, but failed in the Senate. It proposed banning chokeholds, ending qualified immunity for cops, and creating national police misconduct registries. None of that happened because it didn't pass. Shifts in funding and budgets. Some cities reallocated police funding to community services, mental health support, and violence prevention. That's not sizable enough considering the worldwide outrage that we all witnessed in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd. We got almost nothing because of it. I'm going to take a break, come back, and look who's on line 1. We're going to talk to look on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices, and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
When Israel was in Egypt's land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go.
Hello, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Sherwin. How are you?
Still morning. Good morning, Lisa. Try that again. Yes, it's morning.
Oh, good morning. I'm still in bed. I think I'm going to go get me some tea. But anyway, thank you, Bob, for the beautiful comment you made about me. I appreciate you, Bobby.
The hell did Bob say about you?
I haven't found a job yet. Yeah, I haven't found a job yet, but I'm not even really looking, but I guess I'll okay.
You know, if you get a job, you can't lay in the bed till noon every day.
I know, Sherwin. I'm so used to getting up early in the morning, like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, so I'm just used to doing that. So You know.
Anything to say
Yeah,
about
just
today's
bed.
topic? So you just want to call in and just talk about laying in the bed?
I saw that video. I saw the video.
What video?
And you know,
say no more.
The white woman calling calling little baby, you know, the N-word.
Yeah, that's not very nice.
You know, no, it's not. You know, I wonder what would I have done if I was there.
Nothing.
'Cause I'd be like, I wish you would. Ooh.
What you gonna do, Lisa? What, punch her and go to jail? What you gonna do? Yell at her?
I'm gonna sit down, take my leg off, and plop. You gonna learn today and put it back on and mind my business. Go on, walk on out the door. Mm-hmm.
Would you really hit somebody with your leg?
Up.
Would you really do that?
I sure would. That's a weapon. I also got my concealed carry. I got both of them. Pow, 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 pow. Ooh, I got to learn how to use the left hand. So, yeah, that leg is 5 pounds of steel plate. It was not. Ooh.
One of these days, Lisa, you're going to take your leg off and hit somebody with it, and they're going to steal it.
If I have to
and they're going to run away with your leg, and you're going to watch them with their 2 legs run away with your 1 leg, and you know what you're going to say? You're going to say, oh, there goes my leg. Oh, darn
I'm
it.
going to call my prosthesis. I think that's what it's called. And I'm going to say, hey, Mark, I need another leg. Somebody done stole my leg. They tried to take my McDonald's French fries, and I had to clock them. I tried to hop on my 1 leg, you know, and I had to clock them.
This is
come back and catch you to my leg and keep on my stump and keep on walking. Yeah, I'm gonna become a pro at this. You know, I got to, you know, build especially my right leg. Have you seen people hop on that one right leg? I'm like, man, I ain't ready yet. But I'm going to do like them. They run on it, hop on it. Someday. I got to get back to my walking, I keep telling you. So it's supposed to be 70 degrees out today. I ain't going. It's too late. You know. But, yeah, I'm going to get back to walking and walk around. Oh, I found some spots, Sherwin. I did. So yeah, you know, Sherwin, oh, my goodness. I went out the other day to get me some Chipotle Lays. And I went down some Chipotle Lays. And I went down to Ogden, Chipotle. And I went down to Chipotle Lays, and I went down to one on Ogden, my favorite one. And as I was driving around, I'm like, oh, where did they get? Okay, first of all, I didn't know there was a bank on East Capitol by the Wendy's. Okay, so first I had to go to the Metro Mark over there on Oakland. So then I went down Oakland, and I'm like, what is that? Ooh, Sherwin? Oh, I almost had an accident. I'm like, Milwaukee. Oh, Lisa, you done slept a little bit too long. You got to get out the bed and get out here and look and see what they got down here. But, I'm like, y'all need to bring that into the inner city. Y'all building everything on the east side and downtown. Bring some of that to the inner city. But I'm like, y'all go Milwaukee. Woo, woo. Milwaukee is the woo, woo. Milwaukee, I got to get out this summer. I'm going to get out me and my 1 leg. Oh, I'm doing an upgrade soon. I'm going to get my forever leg. So, y'all, you know, I don't know about that because, hey, Mark, I'm going to be running soon. Sherwin, why are you listening to me? You don't listen to me. Get up and sit down. Set it down. Get back here and sit. You know, you look pretty good yesterday with your little suit jacket on and everything. I was like, look at Sherwin. You're looking all like debonair.
You're just talking to yourself, Lisa. I don't even need to be here. I can go home.
Sherwin, are you gonna be
I'm not even saying anything.
Are you going to be on a nudist bike?
What's wrong with you? I see why they enslaved us. I understand now why they snatched us up as slaves. I totally get it.
You know, I do too, because black people, you know, I was sitting here thinking, I said, they always call my father RL. I'm like, RL? Who's RL? What the heck, RL? And then I realized that that's the first initial of his first name and his middle name. I said, why black people, why'd you say RL?
Ralph Lauren?
Where did RL come from? RL. It's RL.
Ralph Lauren, like the Polo Man. Ralph Lauren Polo.
Yeah, Ralph Lauren, yeah. So, you know, black people, like my mama, she called me, instead of saying Angel, Angel. What's Angel, ma? Angel? Look, Angel. Don't, Angel. Look, like, oh, okay. You know, black people special. We always got to. Yeah,
yes, we are.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We are special.
Yeah,
You're proving that today.
You know, I know, Sherwin, people have always said I'm special. I am.
That's not a compliment. Not a compliment.
Yes. Sherwin, well, anyway, I'm trying to debate, should I have eggs over easy or my beef bacon, or should I have the egg over easy sandwich with my beef bacon? Should I put jam on it or should I just put butter on it? Well, this could be confusing. So I'm just going to skip breakfast. That's just stress is real. Which one would you choose?
Rick just said that you're talking about absolutely nothing. That's what he just said. He just said it in my ear. He said you're not even making any sense.
I know. That's my job. And he didn't know that.
You don't have a job.
Yeah. Oh, my job is not making any sense. You know, I always wanted to be a comedian. Oh, I think I'm funny.
You have to be funny. Okay, make me laugh. Tell me a joke. I better laugh, too. I better laugh. Tell me a joke.
Okay, there's a white man, a black man, and an Indian man walking through the bar.
What's the joke?
That's all I got.
That was kind of funny. That was funny. I get it.
Yeah, I don't. But anyway, I love you, Sherwin. I'm going to let you go because I think you want me to run a minute out on your show.
No, I don't. Goodbye.
Oh, you don't?
Goodbye, Lisa.
Okay, bye-bye, Lisa. Love you. Have a good day.
Goodbye, Lisa. Why was Cinderella?
Oh, my God, I'm a Chipotle is my life.
Wow. It's very creative of you guys to find that. Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? She kept running away from the ball. What did the horse say after it tripped? Help, I've fallen and I can't giddy up. Ha, ha, ha. I like them apples. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the P is silent.
Really? Really?
What do you call a well-balanced horse? Stable.
That was a good dad joke.
What do you call an angry carrot? A steamed vegetable. Where do polar bears keep their money? In a snowbank. The last one of the day. How do you make an egg roll? You push it. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.
Truth Nation, it's a big week for the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast, so let's go. Have you ever wanted to become a Girl Scout? Sign up for their extended year membership today. Girls can join just for $98 and adults for only $42.